Hi, this is Petey from BurgZerg Arcade at BurgZergArcade.com, and this is tutorial number, well, I'm not really sure because it's been a while since I've actually made a tutorial. I know it's in the 140 area, or 240 area, I believe. Well, it's up there. But anyway, I've been busy the last little while, that's why we haven't had a tutorial going, but things are actually starting to slow down a bit, so, well, I'm going to strap the mic back on, and let's get back to our tutorial series. So let's go ahead and open up Unity. And I left off, I wanted to actually start working on the mob AI and everything else again. And it turns out that I actually didn't have a scene set up in my game for actually spawning mobs and whatnot. I had the spawn points, but for some reason I didn't actually have it set up to just spawn mobs for me. So I've gone ahead and actually started doing that again. I figured, well, maybe if other people actually don't have that set up as well yet, we'll go ahead and cover it. So here I am. I've got my little portal up here. These little round things are actually spawn points. We covered this in a earlier tutorial. I guess probably titled something along the lines of spawn points. And I've actually gone ahead and put these spawn points actually under one game object here, just so they're kind of parented, a little easier to find in the inspector. And of course, I could actually go ahead and rename these two to, you know, spawn point 1, spawn point 2, or maybe there's a special location. If I had a cave here or something like that. But anyway, do whatever way you want. I've gone ahead and put them all there. And I've also got my portal here. Sorry, it's the other one. This portal. And I have my drop zone. And drop zone spawning ground right there. I kind of want to make this all like one little sort of sub-scene within my scene. It's kind of like an area on my map. So what I'm actually going to do is come up here and go to Game Object, Create Empty. And I'm just actually going to call this some sort of area. So I'm just going to say area. And, well, I'm just going to go with spawning ground because that's what my drop zone was. So that's what I'll call it. Looks good. It's kind of like in the middle there. What I'm going to do is actually take everything, like the drop zone, throw it in. The one portal that we have here, which is the second one here. Drop that in. What else do we have in here? We have actually our spawn point, or sorry, our portal, not our portals, our spawn points. Drop that in. And I think that's everything we actually have for here. So now everything should be under one little area. So that makes it a little bit neater. When I'm in this area to work, I can see where all my spawn points and drop zones and everything else are, instead of actually having to look through the hierarchy. Now, there's a few things here I really do want to clean up as well while I'm here. And this was some of the demo stuff that we had been working on, and I've got it disabled. So I'm just going to put a double space demo. And these were the dummies. These were for the buffs and debuffs. Generic ring was another spell effect. I don't want to completely get rid of them, but I'm not sure if I've actually made a prefab for them. Maybe it'd just be better to make a prefab and get rid of them. But for now, I'm actually going to leave them in the scene. And I'm just actually going to move them up under demo. Just to clean things up, because I really do want to start making things look a little bit better in the hierarchy here. Because I'm at a smaller screen resolution. It just kind of annoys me when I have to keep scrolling. So I'm actually going to go ahead and make another... let me select the other portal. Zoom down to it. And I'm going to make another area down here. And I'm just going to call this, I don't know, beach. And again, I'm going to put everything in it that, well, is down here. I'm not going to bother with the boat. The 3 loot chests are actually going to go into it. And this is the default drop zone. So there we go. It kind of just contains everything a little bit better. Look how much neater that looks. Now we just have our player camera. The sun is for the day-night cycle, which I do not have activated right now, but I do know I need a game option for that. Then of course I have my actual terrain, but that's it for that. Let's go back up to the spawning ground. And in order to get things to spawn, we're going to have to create another game object here. And I believe we have to call it mob generator. That's what I'm going to call mine anyway. So I'll just create an empty. It really doesn't matter where it is. And I'm just going to put mine at 000. And I'll call it mob generator. And we actually have a script for that. So I'm actually, do we have it up here in the component menu? That would be really great. Vendor managers. Yes, we do. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Here we go. So now it's going to ask us for our mob prefabs and our spawn points. And these spawn points are for the mobs. And right now I know I want to hook these ones up. And I have 3 of them. Now we have talked a while ago in live chat about better ways to do this. And I'd come up with a new system that I really liked, but I really want to keep this as simple as possible for now. So I'm actually going to stick with this method. Now we actually need mobs to actually spawn there. Now I do not have the mobs that I used to have, so I'm probably actually just going to use a few of the free ones off of the website. And if I actually have the Fro game ones, I'll actually use those for now. The proto pack. Yes, I do actually have a proto pack. So I'm actually I have the Dungeon Guardian pack. I'm actually going to use the Dungeon Guardian. So I'll probably have to make a prefab out of them. But just keep this simple. I won't bother making a prefab. I'm going to go ahead and just make one. And it's going to want to know what it is. Let me just scroll down here and make sure there isn't a prefab I already made. There doesn't seem to be. So I'm just going to grab him, drag him up here. Let's just take a look. I'm not used to this being able to slide up so much like that. But anyway, I just want to make sure you have some animations. And I can't look. So let's just go ahead and start this up. And well, we'll see what happens. It'll either run or it won't. So I'm going to go ahead, run through the portal. And there should be a few of these guys. There we go. I've got 3 spawn points. And I got 3 of these guys. Now I haven't added a character collider or any of the mob AI elements to them. I'll have to do that when I make my prefab. But if we notice here, we actually should have 3 of them in the area. We have this guy. We have the guy over there. Oh, there's the other guy. He's back over here. Now they are floating, but once we add our character controllers to it, they'll drop down to the ground for us. And I generally like to have my spawn points a little bit off the ground. Just make sure that things don't spawn under the ground and fall through. But anyway, that's it for getting them to spawn. Let's go ahead and make a prefab out of that. So I'm actually just going to take it. I'm going to drag it into the scene just because I need more room. I'm going to come down. I'm going to go to my resources. I'm going to go to... we don't have one for mobs down here, do we? Well, time to make one. I'm going to create a new folder. And I'm going to call this mobs. And for now, I'm just going to go ahead and, well, drag him in there. And that should actually make our prefab for us under Unity 3.4. There we go. Now we can take a look at all the animations that are on it. Column type I think is new, and it's something I haven't looked at. Anyway, we'll take a look at that a little bit later on. So we have a prefab bait. I'm actually going to switch the mob generator over to use that prefab now. So now whatever changes I make to it down here will reflect any changes to the one that was actually spawning up there. So I'm going to come up here, go components, and mob, all mob scripts. And this should add everything to it. That's a little annoying that you have to move this now. But anyway, we'll shrink this down. I'm actually going to shrink my transform down too. We have to tag it as enemy. So we'll do that now. The sphere collider, believe it got auto adjusted. I could probably just jump into the script and take a look, but we'll see. Character controllers, I'm not sure if that got auto adjusted. Advanced movement, we are going to have to give it the name of the animations that it's going to use. And to be honest, I'm going to wait on this part. And in the next part, we're actually going to start using the animation clips. It's something I've been wanting to do for a little while. Just to clean some of the things up. But anyway, AI script, so I'm just going to leave the defaults. And we are going to have to set up some mounts and everything else. We are actually going to have to set up a mob. But if we hit play, we'll probably get a few errors because it's not going to be able to find all these spots set up. So I'm probably going to have to drop one into the scene and properly set them up. It's importing everything for me, which is fine. And sure enough, here we go, the animation states cannot be found. So we're just going to go ahead, stop that. And I'm going to go ahead and actually set my mob up. Now, we just finished actually doing a video on setting a mob up, so everyone should be pretty fresh on that. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead, set my mob up, and save it off. And if I do anything different, I'll make sure to point it out in the next video. But in the video after that, we'll actually start playing around with the animation clips. Anyway, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.